Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the channel, and today an absolute bombshell was dropped on us by Treyarch. We all thought that today would be the day that they revealed the DLC 1 trailer to us, but it turns out that DLC 1 isn't even coming, at least as of right now, because everything that we've learned over the course of the past week or so, both official as well as leaked, is going to be coming to the game next week as part of a free content update, and this update is way bigger than what we imagined. Here in this video, I'm going to cover all of the upcoming changes, though keep in mind there are a lot of them, so get comfy because we have a lot to talk about. First up, let's talk about the multiplayer side of things, since that's what we focus on primarily here on the channel. We have the 11th specialist. Her name is Zero. Turns out it's not going to be a revamp of Outriders. She's a completely new character whose theme is disruption. Now, I'm sure by now everybody has seen the teaser that shows what appears to be an EMP grenade. Well, this new image here shows her using a hacking device, which we don't know as of right now, but I assume it's going to work sort of similarly to the EMP kill streak that we found in previous Call of Duty games. Not much else about her is actually known. All Treyarch said was that she uses the, quote, powerful hacking tools at her disposal, and that she will be unlocked at Tier 1 of the newly revamped Battle Pass. Speaking of the new Battle Pass, let's go ahead and talk about that one next. Treyarch says they have heard all of our feedback, and they have made a bunch of changes based on that feedback. And really quickly here, guys, I remember there were so many people when this game first came out targeting me, targeting other YouTubers, targeting people on Twitter and on Reddit saying, you guys complain too much. All you do is complain, complain, complain. Well, I agree that sometimes the community gets a bit out of hand, but when we're talking about the black market and Activision and supply drops and things like that, usually those complaints are warranted. And the reason why people talk about it so much is because we want those things to change. And if there's one thing we've learned over the course of the past couple of years, it's that when the COD community works together, we can actually influence change here in this franchise. I know lots of people quit Call of Duty World War II early on, but if you actually play the game the whole way through, Sledgehammer Games pretty much revamped the entire multiplayer based on community feedback, and the same thing may actually be happening here in Black Ops 4, and so far, it's happening with the black market. All the changes they have made on paper sound pretty freaking incredible, so allow me to explain what's happening. First things first, no more reserves, and no more 200 tiers, at least at the very beginning. So this new operation is only going to have 100 tiers, and each one of those tiers is going to have something that you can directly work towards. Whether this is going to be a new weapon, which we will be talking about here in a second, or new weapon variants, or new reactive camos, or new Blackout characters, or new specialists like we just talked about here. The new specialist is going to be there at level 1 as the first tier in the Battle Pass. There's going to be a bunch of stuff there all through levels 1 through 100. And then after level 100, they are going to have supply drops, right? The big question for me is if we have to go through 100 tiers of the Battle Pass to get to these supply drops, what are they going to put in those supply drops, right? Right now, we know that the new weapons are tied to the Battle Pass. You can actually earn them, but when it comes to supply drop content, what exactly is going to be in there? Because once again, the only way to get supply drops outside of maybe buying them, which who knows how that's going to work out, but the only way to get there is to get through all 100 tiers of the Battle Pass, which as you guys know, takes a very long time. So that's going to be interesting, but I'm very happy to learn that all the new weapons, new Blackout characters, new reactive camos, and Mastercraft variants, all that stuff, that's going to be front-loaded into the Battle Pass, into the first 100 tiers, which is pretty freaking incredible. Now, I'm sure you guys want to hear about the new weapons, so let's go ahead and talk about that next. The 3 new weapons, you can actually see some of them here in this image, are going to be the Daemon, I think it's how you pronounce it, 3XB submachine gun, and the SWAT RFT assault rifle, as well as the Secret Santa melee weapon. So basically, a new SMG and a new assault rifle, which you can see here in this promotional material, as well as a new melee weapon, are going to be added to the game, and once again, they will be earnable via the black market, via the Battle Pass. We don't know at what stages, I imagine later on in the Battle Pass itself, but I don't think the Battle Pass is going to be that big of an issue, because if the Battle Pass is only 100 tiers, and assuming, we don't know this, but assuming it's going to last for 50 days like the previous one did, that means we have a lot of time to actually complete the entire thing, right? And keep in mind, we have those daily tier skips, and if there's 50 days in there and only 100 total tiers, we we can skip literally half the pass by doing the daily tier skips and then play the other 50 tiers. That's going to be pretty easy, at least in my opinion. I think most people can actually pull that off, especially with double tier bonus events and the challenges that are supposedly going to be added to the game at some point. But yeah, all around, this sounds like a massive improvement to the black market, assuming once again they don't go crazy with supply drop content and locking away pretty much everything within the supply drops. But even then, I mean, having the weapons being earnable, that's a pretty freaking big deal, man. The fact that we don't have to pay for them, the fact that we don't have to wait for them in supply drops, that's a pretty big deal in my opinion. And I know I'm jumping ahead in the video here to the zombie section, but Treyarch also revealed that with this update, they are going to make it so you can earn your daily tier skip by completing 15 rounds in a game of zombies, which is just another way to get a free tier out of the way each and every day. Now, going back to the black market for a second, it's looking like new reactive camos, new reticles, and new weapon camos are going to be added to the black market, though like I said earlier, there's really no word on how that content is going to be divided between the battle pass and supply drops. My guess is most of it is going to be put in supply drops. They did say specifically that we will be able to earn a Mastercraft variant of the ABR. Of all guns in the game, Treyarch, the ABR, like the worst freaking one possible, but we're going to be getting that as part of the new battle pass, right? And I imagine we're also going to get a couple of camos, maybe even a couple of new reactive camos, but my bet is most of that content is going to be locked behind supply drops, right? I'm sure we will get some of those things, but most of it's probably going to be in supply drops to kind of compensate for the fact that we can directly earn the weapons via the battle pass. I would say it's a somewhat fair compromise. If everything in supply drops really is cosmetic only and we can directly earn the weapons, I'm not really complaining, but then again, we have seen this in the past. It's worth mentioning. We have seen this in the past. Pretty much every year, in fact, they give us a somewhat fair supply drop model when the game first comes out, but then after the holiday season, it's like all bets are off and they completely change things around. But at least as of right now, I'm actually a pretty big fan of this system, and ladies and gentlemen, that pretty much does it for the multiplayer side of things and the black market side of things, with the exception, I suppose, I should say, they're also going to be making it so we can finally mix and match the uniforms and face paints of our specialists, which is a small change, right? But lots of people have been asking for this, and honestly, frankly, it should have been in the game from the very beginning, but that's going to be part of this next update as well. But moving away from multiplayer and the black market, let's go ahead and talk about Blackout here, and really quickly, I want to apologize for the reused gameplay here. I have been grinding Dark Matter so hard in multiplayer that I have not been able to get any Blackout gameplay as of recently, so enjoy the reused Blackout gameplay. But regardless, guys, Blackout is going to be significantly overhauled with this new update. Forget about Hijacked for a moment. We'll talk about that here in a second. A new winter event is coming to Black Ops 4, and it's going to change the Blackout map. Treyarch says it's going to add a ton of visual updates, foliage changes, softer winter lighting, and new smoke trails. Basically, the entire map is going to be decorated for the holidays. They also said that Nuketown Island, Hydro Dam, and the factory will be receiving layout improvements, but they wouldn't go into detail about what those changes are actually going to be. They could actually just be changing up the layout to make it work better within the game mode, or they could be adding, I don't know, like fallen Christmas trees or something like that. I really don't know what they could be adding, but those locations, once again, Nuketown Island, Hydro Dam, and Factory will be receiving layout improvements with this update. They are also going to be adding in the armor repair system, which if you guys don't know, this new system is going to allow you to repair your armor with materials that you find off of dead enemies, and they're also going to be revamping the audio yet again, and they will also be rebalancing the SDM as well as the Spitfire weapons for the Blackout game mode. Now, going back to the armor repair system for a second, that is something that fans have wanted for a very long time, because if you guys don't know, people find, that's like the Battle Royale community I'm talking about here, they find that Blackout is actually very polished and very fun compared to most other BR games out there, but they don't like how it artificially rewards camping with the armor system. What actually happens is if you have like tier 3 armor, for example, and you get into a gunfight with somebody who even has only tier 1 armor, assuming that person is competent and actually shoots back, even if you kill them, chances are your armor is screwed, right? Your armor is next to gone or gone entirely, and that really punishes you, because if you can't find any more more armor between then and your next gunfight, you go into that fight at a disadvantage because you were aggressive earlier and got into an engagement. Well, with this new system, if you kill that guy and he ruins your armor, you can repair your armor with materials from his dead body, which will make you that much more ready for your next gunfight. It will actually reward you for running around and getting kills, which is what we all want at the end of the day. So I am very happy about that update. And speaking of updates, let's finally talk about it. Hijacked is coming. All the leaks and all the rumors were true. The yacht will be appearing off the coast between Nuketown Island and the construction site. Treyarch didn't really go into great detail about Hijacked, but they did say it is going to be coming back. It's going to be set off the shore. And they also said once you get back to shore, you will find the new ARAV armored vehicle, which has a mounted machine gun turret on it. Like, how freaking incredible is that? I definitely did not expect them to add a new vehicle, especially one that has a machine gun on it, in the same update where they revamped the entire map for the holiday season and add the Hijacked expansion. As if all that wasn't enough, the zombies characters from the map 9 will also be able to be unlocked after this new update because their mission items will start appearing out in the world. Now, going back to what I said earlier about the black market, new Blackout characters will also be able to be unlocked via the black market and via the battle pass. They specifically said that the original zombies cast will be returning and that Nikolai will be unlocked at tier 45 of the new battle pass. Now, moving along here, I'm very sad to report that the new zombies map, which was leaked a couple of days ago, will not be coming to Black Ops 4 next week. It looks like that map, which is kind of codenamed Night of the Dead, it's looking like that really is going to be part of DLC 1, but like I said, this update is not DLC 1. Everything I've covered so far here in this video is just part of a massive free content update that Treyarch is adding to Black Ops 4 next week. This is not DLC 1. We don't know when DLC 1 is actually going to be, but my bet is probably at some point in early 2019, probably in January or early February. It's not all bad though, because zombies will be getting daily challenges, which will help you earn elixirs and talismans faster, and they're also going to be adding in the Black Ops authenticity stamp, which is basically going to be this code that is generated for you at the end of every match, and you can share that code with other people online. That code will track pretty much everything that happened in that match, from your kills to your downs to your rounds survived and the amount of elixirs you used, and pretty much everything, right? Which is going to be a really good feature for tracking world records and challenges and things like that, but I have a feeling this is not the content that zombies fans were really hoping for. I've actually seen a lot of zombies YouTubers saying that DLC 1 is going to make or break their channel and decide what they do for the future of their channel content-wise, whether or not they stick with zombies or if they move over to something like Destiny or Fortnite or anything like that, and it's looking like DLC 1 isn't coming anytime soon, so I have to wonder what is actually going to be happening to the zombies community. Now, Treyarch did say that they have plans for factions, event callings, and Phase 2 of the authenticity stamp, which will all be coming in early 2019, but I have to wonder, is that going to be enough for zombies fans? I don't know personally, right? Because I've always focused on multiplayer, and I'm going to be playing a lot more multiplayer, and probably a lot of Blackout during this event, so you zombies fans out there, let me know down there in the comments, what do you think of these changes? Of course, we have the new daily tier skip at 15 rounds in zombies. They are going to be adding challenges, daily challenges next week, as well as the authenticity stamp. Is that enough? Is that enough content for zombies fans? Leave your thoughts and feedback on that down there in the comments. And finally, for you esports guys out there, it's looking like League play is going to be delayed until early 2019 to make sure that everything is polished and ready to go. On one hand, that sucks, right? Because people have been waiting for League play for a long time now, and they just want to play League play. But on the other hand, look what zombies fans are dealing with right now with all the bugs and issues and problems that zombies has, right? I would say personally that it's worth waiting for everything to actually work properly when it's released, but still, it's frustrating to have to wait so long for a feature that so many people really do enjoy. But either way, guys, that's pretty much all for this video. That's pretty much all the content updates that are going to be added to Black Ops 4 next week, though keep in mind, PlayStation 4 fans get access to pretty much everything 1 week before Xbox and PC fans. Some of this content, I'm sure, is going to be added to all platforms next week, but most of it is going to be exclusive to the PS4 for 7 days before coming to the other platforms. All in all, I have to give credit where credit is due. Like, aside from the League play disappointment and the relatively disappointing update in terms of zombies, I would say this update is pretty freaking fantastic on paper, right? Revamping the black market, adding a new specialist to multiplayer, changing up so many things about Blackout. This update looks like it's going to be freaking incredible, and I cannot wait to experience all this content. Now, I would love to hear down there in the comments, what do you guys think of all these changes, and what more would you change? Because we're the COD community. I know people are going to say they should have done this, they should have done that. Leave your thoughts and feedback down there in the comments. What else are you hoping they change about Black Ops 4 before the new year? I would love to hear about that, but until then, I hope you guys all enjoyed this video. Thank you all so much for listening, and I hope you guys all have a wonderful day.